Let's see if this thing is on. There we go. That's a ticket. My friends, this is the last moments, the last iteration, the last incarnation, the last moments before the end of this October. It's 11 p.m. and Halloween is just kind of wrapping down or closing down or wrapping up, whatever the hell the phrase is. And if you think anything that you've seen in real life is as scary as what we're seeing now, of what you've got going, no. Believe me when I'm telling you this. Believe me when I'm telling you this. You have no idea of what's happening. You have simply no idea. And the thing I want to tell you more than anything else is that there are 3 levels of participants: bronze, silver, and gold. The bronze participants are those people who just kind of read whatever cable news throws at them. They really don't know. They really, honest to God, don't know. They really don't know what they should know. They're not bad people, but they are fundamentally, preternaturally clueless. They have no idea of what's happening. And if it's not if it's not on TV, if it's not on cable news, they don't know it. They don't know anything. If you ask somebody, hey, what's the worst fear you have? They'll say Islam. I'm thinking, you don't know what's happening. That's bronze level. Silver level is a little different. You might be more versed. You certainly aren't aware of. You know more than front load ending folks, but you know a little bit more. But and you know where to go. But the gold level is what I hope you are. The gold level is where you decide your own feed, your own news feed. You determine for yourself what you're going to know. And let me just leave you with this. It's nothing. If you knew what I knew, what is in store, it is going to blow your mind. The enemy, the predator, the doctor, the lawyer, the friend, the government, your interface to everything is going to be the bot. The bot. AI meets AGI. And if you are not a member of the oligarchy, you're done. Kids will be taught via the bot. Schools will be done. Some kids won't go to school. Your doctors, your lawyers, your medication, whatever you're entitled to. That little thing that Mrs. L and I have been warning you about, AI, it's at a level you can't imagine. It may be too late for kids today. Tonight we were out doing a few things. Out and about, we're driving through some Jersey areas. It was very, very nice. And kids were getting out of cars, and they're still in the city going crazy. Halloween. The family unit will be destroyed. Kids will be subject to such predation. It is over. And people now are worried about Islam, about Zoran Mamdani. He's nothing. He's bad. But what happens is, to be the gold level participant, you've got to be into reading things. We've been talking about this. Alex Jones, whom I can never say enough about, brought to our attention years ago through the notion of transhumanism. Remember that? We talked about that transhumanism and the globalist peril. He made us aware of a world which we couldn't comprehend at the time. We couldn't comprehend. Okay? This is one of the things which I cannot possibly, how do I say this? I cannot possibly put into perspective how horribly frightening things are. And the people that you should worry about the most are your fellow citizens who will try to assuage your fear, okay? These are the people who are going to come along and push you out of the way and say, don't worry, this is good. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Kamala Harris, that was nothing. Joe Biden, that was nothing. I'm sounding the alarm. We have nobody in Washington, nobody who's helping us. Nobody, not the president, no one. No one. Because they see it all as good. Eliezer Yudkowsky and others just go down the list. We are on the brink of something right now, which is just so incredible. We have two archaic parties, two races you should pay attention to. One, of course, is Jack Ciattarelli. He goes by the name Chittarelli, but that would be Citarelli. Chittarelli. It's CIA, which is Cha or Chia Torelli. I love when people mispronounce their own words, their own names. Listen to what's happening. Keep an eye on this. So you can have all the fun in the world you want with masks and ghouls. The scariest stuff is what's going to happen in the future. Absolutely. Because they are telling you right now what they're doing, and nobody seems to care because nobody understands it. Nobody understands it. Nobody grasps it. This is the most important thing in the world. I hate having to say this. What's interesting is that who are the people who are going to alert you to what's happening? The biggest threat, the existential threat, and I've been telling you about this forever, is the notion of what is going to happen regarding bots and AI. And when AI, if it ever goes to superhuman intelligence, and if AGI ever kicks in, and if the notion of alignment and singularity ever even are approached or are just lost altogether, we're through. Because nobody in Congress or the Senate or nobody knows about this. You are going to see a new alignment. And listen to what I'm telling you. You are going to see a new alignment. Right now, there is a world, in our world, of the folks who represent one issue, and that one issue almost exclusively is that of Israel and Gaza. They call it genocide, apartheid, or ethnic cleansing. And they talk about this incessantly, without surcease. And they go crazy. Piers Morgan, Junk Yogurt, Katie Halper, Abby Martin, Max Blumenthal, Aaron Mate, Jeffrey Sachs, even Mearsheimer and the great Douglas McGregor to an extent, Judge Napolitano, everybody. They're focus. Evil, Israel, evil. Okay, fine. Not even going to argue the point. Not even going to bring the point up. When you bring up to them, what about Islam affecting us here? What about Islamists here? The people like in this, who's going to be the mayor of Minneapolis. How about Zoran Mamdani? How about in Michigan, that one city calls to prayer at 3 a.m. What about Islamism? You know what they'll call you? You know what that crowd will tell you? The anti-Israel, pro-Palestine, whatever you call them. They'll say, you're an Islamophobe. They love Zoran Mamdani. I said, wait a minute. Hold what? They love him. You know, Breaking Points, that with Crystal Ball, who's so full of shit, it's not even funny, and Sagar, they are so, and I'm not saying they're right, but they can't handle two things simultaneously. They are so focused on what they call Palestinian genocide. And again, I'm not even going to argue the point that they say, therefore, anything you say about Islamism must be exaggerated. No. So these people are actually calling for and encouraging the election in my city of Zoran Mamdani, who's a punk. He's a 34-year-old benighted moonbat who was an assemblyman who missed 80% of the votes and doesn't know anything. He never had a job in his life and wants to defund him. But he's not Palestinian. He's initially Ugandan, and then his family represents the most radicalized anti-American. But this group, and he also wants to arrest Bibi Netanyahu. And because he does, they want to vote for him in my city. Do you see what's happening here? Do you see what's happening here? Bill Ackman, the hedge funder that these people hate because he is a devout Zionist or is a devout Israeli or Jew, whatever it is, he is now coming forward with some of the most fascinating antidotes possible to stop Zoran Mamdani. But because they are sworn to this, pro-Palestinian, anti-Bibi, anti-Zionism, they have to be against everybody. Barry Weiss, demonized. I'm not standing up for her because people are going to say, because see, in our world, you either hate somebody, it's like zeros and ones. You either hate them or you love them. You can't say, well, this is a person I like, but I don't like this, what they say. It's like with Trump. I can tell you 10, 15 things that he's doing, which I don't particularly care for. So Barry Weiss, who now, because of Ellison's son, who appointed her heading of CBS, guess what? She wants to have an alternative, not an alternative, but also a version of Fox News. She's getting rid of a lot of these radical left pundits, or pundits, as people say, but because they are, maybe perhaps because they're anti-Israel or pro-Zion, whatever it is. But she actually might be organizing, proposing, and programming something which may be more commensurate with our worldview. But because they hate her, because of what she says regarding Israel, because she's a Zionist, because that can't be, because she says that, or because they're excluding everything she is possibly suggesting, up to and including being against Zoran Mamdani. I'm not against him because he's an Islamist. And don't forget, remember this, progressivism, being a progressive, is a religion disguised as a political affiliation. Islamism is a political belief disguised as a religion. That's the difference. Do you see what's happening? Do you see what's happening? You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? It's not because Zoran Mamdani is Muslim. That's not it. Somebody says, Zig, whatever, says, New York City is turning into London. Not even close. Do you live in New York? No. 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 Remember, we live in a world of bumper stickers, playbooks, kind of this cookie cutter echo chamber, these phrases, these shibboleths that we say. No. Dearborn, Michigan. That's what you got to see. Minneapolis. Did you see the new, or it could be the next mayor, the Somali? He looks like that move from the movie with Tom Hanks. Like, what is this? But that's really not the issue. Later on, it goes far further than that. But let me see this again. I don't have a problem with Islam if Zoroastrians, if Germans came in and wanted to make everything German, German language, German government, German, like some type of not Nazi, but anything that didn't assimilate with America but tried to replace American, I'm against them. But these people, now follow me, Ackman, Barry Weiss, whoever, Laura Loomer, they can't stand Mamdani. Maybe because he's a Muslim. I don't know. I can't stand it because he's going to destroy our city because of the fiscal policy, political. So we are on the same page, but maybe for different reasons. And the people who made a great case that established regarding the horrific case, the horrific additions of Gazans and Palestinians, now they're for Zoran Mamdani because he thinks he can arrest Bibi Netanyahu if ever he becomes mayor. I mean, do you see what I'm saying? It's all switched. I am siding with people that I don't particularly care for, but we have a common goal, but for different reasons. Let me give you this example. At the time of Prohibition, the Women's Temperance Society, the Carrie Nations, and they wanted to ban alcohol. Prohibition. Okay? You understand this? You see what I'm saying? Okay. And what happened was they were of the position that liquor should be banned because it was destroying families and okay. At the time, they reached out and they found themselves in commiseration with and of, and I guess with, yes, again, the Klan, the Ku Klux Klan also favored prohibition because they feared that the black man in particular, once exposed to alcohol and firewater, a la that kind of that world of reefer madness, would become so hypersexed and crazed that no white woman would be safe. So you had women's temperance unions siding and cooperating with the Klan. Do you see what's happening? They had nothing to do with each other. Dear God, no. But because they shared an objective for different reasons, nonetheless, they wanted the same thing. They joined forces. So Crystal Ball, who is from Breaking Points or whatever, who says like she speaks like a 13-year-old girl on a princess phone. Remember teenagers' phone? Remember that, Mom? So your sister's on the phone. Would you tell her to get off the phone when you had one part? Anyway, her whole thing is like, and so like Zoran Mamdani. Why? Because he wants to arrest Bibi Netanyahu. He has no jurisdiction to do so. But he's committing genocide. He's a war criminal. But we're not signatories to the ICC and the ICJ. Well, we should be, and I think that's great. And I think he's wonderful because of this one issue. Because Crystal Ball and a lot of people see one thing. Max Blumenthal may be brilliant, but he wants Zoran Mamdani as my mayor. I don't. And the reason why? Because they share the same ideas regarding Palestine. Okay? So if I decide that there's somebody that I agree with who, let's say I wanted to legalize drugs and I was a libertarian and I said, I like this person, but this person is a racist or this person is a whatever. I don't vote one issue. That's where we are now. So Barry Weiss, the awful, terrible, horrible Zionist, terrible, I've said that, Barry Weiss may actually be wanting to turn CBS upside down and finally get rid of a lot of these anti-American left-wingers. But, and say something against Zoran Mamdani and this guy from Minnesota, whatever it is, but for different reasons. Am I making sense? Somebody writes, Americans are not in charge of America anymore. Zohar Mamdani's handlers won. The globalists may have done, but not to make it too complicated, Zoran won't be able to fart without the entire world. Bill de Blasio's pulling away from him. Kathy Hochul, the governor, who was for it at first. Eric Adams. Nobody's for him. Oh, Bernie Sanders, AOC, but you know how that goes. They're role playing. This is cosplay for them. Bill Cosplay, you probably heard of him. It's very complicated, very exceedingly complicated, far too complicated for a Friday night on Halloween. So did everybody trick or treat this eve? Did everybody trick or treat? By the way, it is not socialism. Stop saying socialism. It is not socialism. That is not a word. Cancer is not AIDS. They may be connected, sort of, because sometimes people who are HIV positive would have a form of cancer, but no, the two are different. This is not a planned economy. Socialism does not mean leftist, totalitarian, radical. It is a specific economic, governmental structure. It's welfare society, if anything. It's not Marxism. It's not communism. When you say it's socialism, people turn you off immediately because they realize you don't know what you're talking about. So they're going to say, no, it's not this. The reason why Zoran Mamdani is bad is he believes in restorative justice. He wants to defund the police. And he basically wants to live in a world, they call it non-carceral, non-retributive criminal justice. It's the democratic socialist, okay? That's the name of the party. They're not socialist. Bernie Sanders is not a socialist. You can't be a socialist and have a capitalist structure. This is capitalism. Private ownership of production and resources. We are not socialist. We are not. You can have people who believe in giving things away. If I want to say free food, free things, there's Carla. Carla says, freaks are taking over the world and saying that we are crazy. Yes. And as Carla will tell you, you just came back. Friends of mine from Rome and London said, Jesus Christ. What happened? Thank God for Georgia Maloney. Thank God for her. Thank God for people like Marine Le Pen. I'm like, they're called hard right. They're not. This is not socialism. Socialism is not the word you use for chaos or bedlam or, whatever. It's not socialism. Please, I beg you, don't give it. Do you know what restorative justice is, right? Non-retributive, non-carceral, where if your daughter is, God forbid, attacked or hurt or harmed, instead of us putting the son of a bitch in prison who hurt your daughter, we have a sit down where we want to find out Why did this man do this to your daughter? Why did this man destroy your daughter's life? Why did this man destroy? No, this is it. Is that socialism? No. No. You want to see during Stalin, Mao, actual communists, there was none of that. It was just you break the no, you're gone. Because the socialists then said, if you violate the criminal laws, you're violating against the state, and we own everything. We're gonna hang you. Socialists sometimes had no crime. When I say no, I mean it was authoritarian. Some of the most drastic. You think Haiti? You think Haiti is a place you want to hang around? Did you think the Duvaliers? They weren't communists or anything else. They were autocratic, despotic. Saudi Arabia, some of the Emirates, North Korea. Although you may think if you think that North Korea is communist, people think Russia's communist. It's not. They don't know. They use this word. They just say socialist. Yeah. And people sit around like, yeah. It's not socialist. It's not a planned economy. It's not control of means and production. It's not. We have to teach people. If you're going to use the word, make sure you know. Those of you who know anything about guns, they'll say, he had an automatic. No, he didn't. That's a semi-automatic. An automatic is like a machine pistol or something. That's not it. Wow, whatever. No, it means a lot. That's an assault weapon. No, it's not. Anyway, we have to learn things. Zoran Mamdani wants to have free buses. Why? For the safety of the bus drivers. Who the hell wants to get on a bus? Imagine these Rikers rejects. Free? They'll be barbecuing on there and screaming and yelling. Some people will never leave. They'll move in. They'll be squatters. And this poor bus driver, he's not going to throw anybody off. In fact, bus drivers will quit. This is what this moonbat is doing. But he was picked. But the Republicans sat on their ass the whole time and did nothing. They did nothing. They're worthless. They don't have a bench. And who do you think is going to be next after Trump? Who? Who do you think? J.D. Vance? He's in Peter Thiel's back pocket. It's Palantir all over again. Do you understand what's happening? I just told you what's going to happen. Well, I just like the way he looks. Oh, bullshit. Who killed Charlie Kirk? Never got to the bottom of that. Who here Trump? Who trusts Erica Kirk? Raise your hand. Who you trust her? Answer my question. Charlie Kirk was great. Turning Points was terrific. You trust her? Who? Anybody? You saw that. You see what's going on. You trust her? You think she's going to pick up where Charlie left off? Huh? Come on, especially women. Let me ask women. Huh? Carla says, no, absolutely not. You got to be kidding me. And then you're going to follow that stupid bullshit about Candace Owens, who says that it was Israel. She doesn't know anything. Candace Owens is so out of her mind. Do you see last time she's doing this David Icke, this reptilian, she said that the people who run, I guess, I guess you'd call it, big tech, Silicon Valley, that they all look weird. They breathe through she doesn't know what she's saying. They're going to burn her regarding Brigitte Macron because everybody keeps thinking, oh, it's about her being a man. No, it's not. There's 19 counts. Read the complaint. Nobody's even read it. She's out of her tree. She's something really not right. But people love her and they think that there's this Israeli thing. It's Mossad. Nobody's proving. How do you know? Oh, I don't know. You can't, could be. Would it surprise you? No, no. But how do you know? So you can't say things like that. People think we're stupid. People think we're a bunch of conspiracy theorists, lunatics out there. Oh, and then the best one, when Tucker Carlson wants to sit down with Nick Fuentes, don't you want to hear what he has to say? Or anybody? Sure. Oh no. Supposedly Charlie Kirk said, "What are you doing?" We're being attempted to be run by a bunch of cliquish platformers who are like the cool kids and the mean girls and the cool kids in high school who thought they were cool. The people who lettered, who had the captain of the football team and the homecoming queen, they thought that we thought they were cool. I couldn't give a rat's ass less about what Tucker Carlson or Laura Loomer or Glenn Beck or anybody has to say. That's interesting. It's their opinion. It's not a political party. It's not a political party. I don't understand what's going on. So we have these groups of people. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't talk to him. Oh, no, you can't. Our group is a bunch of children sitting around with these crazy, they'll say anything you say about Israel or the Catholics or, oh, Obama. You say it. There are people who keep saying that and they really believe that Michelle Obama is a man. They believe this. Oh, no, not just as a joke. They really believe it. Why? Because it becomes part of the vocabulary of who we are. And we sound like children. We sound like really crazy people, weird people. And we can't be like that. That's bronze level. If you want to be gold level, you've got to make sure you do the research yourself, turn it towards, dictate what you want to know, and stop listening to the crowd. And ask yourself, what do you believe? Not whether what you believe adheres or follows that of Tucker Carlson or whoever the hell it is. I keep saying Tucker. I don't care about Tucker. Does this make any sense to you? Good. Good. It's critical that we do this, my friend. It's critical that we do this and we focus on this. We're going to need each other and we're going to need to be 100% correct. Okay? You understand this? And if you spend any amount of time actually worrying about Michelle Obama, if that's what you think is important, you're a child. You're a child. You're in this Candace Owens world of like snarky, mean, I don't know what it is. It's of no interest. It's silly. It's just mean. It doesn't matter. Our country is collapsing. And let's say people say, did Hitler have one testicle? They also said he had terrible flatulence because he was a vegetarian. Did you ever hear that one? He had one testicle. Can you imagine that? Believe me, during World War II, they weren't sitting around worrying about his testicle. Today they would be because it's minimalistic and it's childish. We have to grow up. We have to become gold medal, gold level researchers. And that's it. So Carla Dearheart, thank you so much. Follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. Make sure you subscribe to Lionel Legal. Lionel Legal. Lionel Legal, okay? Support us. Make sure you like this. I need your like, your support, and your metrics. I want you to think for yourself. We're going to get through this, believe me. And until we do next time, remember, my friends, have a great day. Happy Halloween. Don't forget, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da, da.